Hello everyone, this is Walter, the Film Hermit channel. Thanks for joining me again. And again, we're gonna go through more of the Fast and the Furious franchise. So one thing I was thinking about as I was making the videos, I think I'm gonna I'm really glad that I chose the Fast and the Furious for the first franchise to go through, because it kind of allows me to kind of work out the tweaks of running a channel and being more prepared of what I'm going to discuss about the film. Because I kind of walked into the video having a good idea of what I wanted to say, but then one thing I realized about this franchise in particular, even though I've seen the movie multiple times, when I talk about the plot of the film, I don't really have much to say. And it's not that I have a bad memory, because I do remember the movies very well. It's just that these are not stories that really stand out in your mind. Like, I remember what happened, but like when it comes to who betrayed who does what, why it's important, a lot of it just kind of goes out of your mind. And I guess that's kind of the gist of this franchise. It's a very fun movie to watch, but like when you walk away from it, you don't take a lot with you. And one of the things I did before the 9th movie came out is I rewatched all of them again. And I kind of didn't want to do it. I kind of had to take breaks and watch the movies in between. But I'm glad I did it, because there are a lot of little things in the movies that I did not remember. And I think that affected how I liked the movies initially when they came in theaters, because there were little details that I didn't remember from the movie, because last time I watched it was like 2 years ago, so the 2 years prior. So one thing I also did that I did in the last video is I forgot to show the UK Steelbook for the 6th movie. So this is the UK Steelbook for Fast and Furious 6. And I believe that's the car that Paul Walker drives in the film. It's a Cooper, I believe they call that car. It's the type of car they drove in The Italian Job, I believe. Here's the back that has the 6th one on it. And I believe I damaged this one, but for the life of me, I don't see any damage on the Steelbook. I thought I dented it, but it looks fine. It always bothers me when I damage it. It's a slight little bend here. I thought it was actually more damaged than it was, but that's all I did. But I remember at the time I wasn't too happy with myself. So that's the spine for 6. And when you open it up, it's got another cast list here, but this one, instead of being like a black and white, it's more like a gold and white type image. A full color image would have been better, but again, it's better to have something than nothing. And like I was saying in the other videos, how the 6th movie doesn't have, well, not 6th, all the UK ones, they don't have 2 disc spots, so only 1 disc spot. So one thing about this one here is, spoiler, this is the last film that Gal Gadot appears in, but I've heard a rumor that she's trying to come back to the franchise. So whatever opinion you have about that, I think she's a good actress, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of strange that she would be coming back. So let's move on to the 7th movie. So this is Furious 7. See? Trying to make the titles interesting again, and still they can't beat Too Fast, Too Furious. So this movie, I believe it was 2015. I'm gonna double check right now. The 8th one was 2017. I should probably stick with my own memory, because my memory is really pretty good and that kind of stuff. That is Furious 7, yep, 2015. So this was the film that Paul Walker tragically died when he was filming. No, he didn't die when they were filming it, but he died when he was in the process of filming the movie. So this movie is directed by James Wan. James Wan is actually another really good new director. He's not a new director, but he's from the last 10, 15 years. Unlike, directors I grew up with, like Spielberg, that have been, around my whole life. James Wan directed the Conjuring franchise, the first 2 movies, and he also did Aquaman. So I think I like him. He's pretty good. This film in particular is a very hard film because of the fact that one of their leads died, and I read that they were at one point deciding whether or not they even wanted to continue making the movie. I guess at one point they decided that they were going to make the movie, so they used the scenes that Paul Walker shot. They used digital scenes to cover when he wasn't there, and I believe 2 of his brothers were stand-ins and helped out a bit too. So this is the last film that he has an appearance in. At the time, it was really sad. There's a sequence at the end that's kind of like a dedication to Paul Walker and his work on the film. And I know that it's something that really affected the cast, and I can understand that when you work with someone that passes away, it's hard. So here's the Steelbook here. So as we go in the plot to the film, let's see how much of this I can recall. So basically, the 7th one, they have to steal something in order to find Deckard Shaw. So Owen Shaw is the villain of the 6th film, played by Lucas. Not Lucas. I'm sorry. I had his name all ready to go, and I hailed what a great actor he was, and then I'm blanking on his name like I'm losing my mind. Luke Evans. So Luke Evans played Owen Shaw in the 6th film, and he was the villain. And he is injured at the end of the 6th film. And we find out, spoiler alert, that Han, who died in the 3rd movie, was actually killed by his brother, Deckard Shaw. And we find out that Deckard Shaw is Jason Statham. And I remember when I saw the 6th movie at the theater and it showed the Han sequence and Jason Statham gets out of the car, I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed hysterically because I just thought it was so completely ridiculous. And then I was like, again, I'm down. Whatever the 7th movie is, I'm going to go see it because this is completely ridiculous. So the 7th movie is basically Deckard Shaw, Jason Statham's character, trying to hunt down Dominic Toretto and his crew and trying to kill them for revenge for his brother. And this movie, I applaud them for what they got done because of the fact that Paul Walker had died in the middle of it and they had to try to piece together what they had to make everything cohesive. There's some good action sequences in it, but the movie's kind of silly. I mean, the whole point of it is they have to steal something in order to find something to find Jason Statham's character, but wherever they go, Jason Statham's character's there anyway. And the plot is like, well, if we surprise him, maybe we can catch him. It's dumb. One of the nice things about it is this movie actually has Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell actually, his character is introduced in the film. He's now part of the Fast and Furious franchise. He plays a character called Mr. Nobody, who's like a spy and basically gives the team new toys and gives them more resources that they didn't have before, which bringing Kurt Russell to the cast, that I'm down for that. I've been watching Kurt Russell movies like my whole life. So, movies, entertaining. Ronda Rousey has a appearance in the film as well. She fights Michelle Rodriguez in a hotel room in Bahrain. I think it's Bahrain, if I remember correctly. But, again, I can't, if I was any other movie, especially one of my favorite movies, I could probably go on and on about the plot. But just, again, when Fast and Furious movies, my mind just kind of blanks when it comes to all the ins and outs of the plot. But overall, entertaining. It was a nice dedication to Paul Walker's character. And the movie did very, very well at the box office. It did very well. It was probably, I think, at the time, one of the more popular ones in the franchise when it came out. So then we have the 8th film. So let me grab that. So when it comes to the 7th movie and the 8th movie, I didn't get UK Steelbooks for those. They stopped doing the color scheme with the UKs with the cars at that point, so I didn't see the point. So this is The Fate of the Furious. This is the 8th film. So see, Fate, 8, they rhyme, so it doesn't work. So this is the first film without Paul Walker. And this one I remember, I saw this in Florida. I went to Florida for a convention, and I had never been to Florida before. And when the convention was over, I needed to get dinner, and I found that they had a theater there where you can eat dinner and watch a movie. And this movie had just come out, so I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything else. When I go have dinner, I'll just watch Fast and Furious. And it was very interesting. They have like a little table in there. You could just have your dinner and watch the movie. So this movie, I never was really crazy about it. I watched it again just before the 9th movie came out. And just, I'm not really big. One thing about me in movies, I hate it when they recast. If we have one actor in a role and for some reason he can't do the movie anymore, and you put another actor in the role, I can't get into it and I can't stand it. And this is not that case. This is a situation where, you know, an actor died and he can't be in other movies. One of the big things that I think makes this franchise work is the fact that the Vin Diesel and the Paul Walker relationship. And this is the first movie where he wasn't in it. And not their fault. It's just, it's felt. And a lot of the silliness that was in the plot, just, I didn't excuse it as much as I normally would. And it's kind of long, and I just remember it kind of being like, is this over yet? This has been going on a really long time. Could I even try to think about the plot? This is the first one with Charlize Theron's character. She plays a villain named Cypher, and Charlize Theron's actually one of my favorite actresses, and because she's a villain, it's like, this is the first time she's been in a movie where I just found her character annoying. Not because she's bad, it's just, well, not because she's a bad performance, it's just because her character is terrible. In the sense that she's just a horrible person. And I just didn't think the movie was that interesting. The movie takes a kind of the whole plot in the movie is that Dom turns on his family, and we don't know why. And we know the whole movie that Cypher must have something on him. And it's just like, when you watch it, you're just kind of like, they know this person. They know that it's got to be something. He's not doing this just for money. He has money. So that's one of the reasons why I think it doesn't work. One thing about this movie that I always remember is there's a channel that most of you may not know of, but it's real popular on YouTube. It is a CinemaSins. So the way CinemaSins works is like they go through a movie and they count every sin that a movie has. And they love going through the Fast and Furious franchise. So let's say something that happens is unbelievable. They'll have a text at the bottom saying why it's unbelievable, and they'll count the sin in the corner. In the corner it says sin counter. So there's a part in this movie where a submarine shoots a torpedo, and the torpedo is sliding in the ice. So The Rock actually reaches his hand outside the car, he grabs the torpedo with his hand, and he pushes it so it crashes into something else instead. When they showed that part on CinemaSins, the sin counter broke. And the joke was, oh my God, they broke it, it doesn't work anymore. And they kept that joke because every video they did afterwards, it said Sin Counter 2.0. One of the best jokes on YouTube. You guys should watch that video. It's hilarious. So, 8th movie, not one of my favorites. Got a lot of ridiculous stuff, like I said, the torpedo part. And after that, they did Hobbs and Shaw, which is really different because that is not a Fast and the Furious movie. It is Fast and Furious Presents. So they decided that basically they wanted to do a movie with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and Jason Statham together. A lot of people liked their chemistry in the other two movies, and they thought it'd be a good idea to put them in a movie together. And movie is pretty over the top and it's pretty silly, and I love it. It's actually directed by one of the directors of John Wick. I believe it's David Leitch. He was a non-credited director of John Wick because John Wick had 2 directors. So it's got really great action sequences. Idris Elba plays the villain. There's actually a sequence in the movie where he actually, they ask him who he is, and he just goes, bad guy. It's so dumb. And there's a part from the trailer where he's this actual cyborg. Yes, Idris Elba is a cyborg, and he's the villain of this film. Completely ridiculous. And there is a line in the movie where he actually says that he's Black Superman. And I laugh every fucking time he says it. It's so dumb. But the movie's a lot of fun. And let's see here. And the movie also introduces, let's see, and let me see. This one, let me go back here. Hobbs. And there we go. So this character of Owen Shaw is a villain in the 6th movie, but then at this point now, we get introduced to the whole family. They casted Helen Mirren to play their mother in the 8th movie, and now she's part of the Fast and Furious franchise. And we have Vanessa Kirby, which is like one of my Hollywood crushes. She actually plays the sister. Her character's name is Hattie Shaw. So we now have like a whole bunch of Shaws. They're now part of the whole franchise. So let me open this up because this is a really cool thing that they did. Well, kind of cool because the art is supposed to expand between both sides of the Steelbook, but they left a lot of empty space here, which is kind of silly. But maybe because this isn't an official Fast and the Furious entry, they decided to put artwork inside. Yes, the Best Buy Steelbook actually has artwork in it, but this is what they did. They put the title of the movie. Now, it does have pictures of the actors inside, but, it's better than nothing. But that's my Hobbs Shaw Steelbook. So, those are the Steelbooks for the Fast and the Furious franchise, and some of my thoughts on the franchise. I didn't have as much to say about it as I thought I would. I guess the best thing to say is that it's a franchise that's kind of grown on me over the years. It does have a lot of silliness to it, but it's a popcorn movie. You can have a lot of fun with it. There's some times where I see something in the movie and it just gets me angry and I'm like, this is a waste of my time. And then sometimes I laugh hysterically. That's just simply how it is. So the last Fast and Furious video I'll do is I'll do the 9th film. And I'll just give my thoughts on what I thought about it. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Because like I said, I don't really have a lot to say about these movies. And I don't think it needs to have a whole video. So the 9th movie, I think it's been 3 weeks that it's been out. And I saw it opening day. And my initial thoughts of the movie is that it's just like the other movies. It has a lot of silly, ridiculous scenes in it. But at this point, I've been watching these characters for 20 years. I pretty much like the characters. I had fun with it. One thing about this movie, this is one of the first movies that came out after the pandemic. So this is one of the first movies I got to see on the big screen. And it was nice being back in the theater, except for the fact there was a crying baby in there, and I was kind of wishing I could be watching it at home instead. But a lot of the critics got to see it about a month prior to the release. And a lot of the reviews got released, and a lot of them were talking about how the movie was terrible, it was the worst in the franchise. And then I didn't really want to hear any of their comments until I saw the movie myself. When I saw the trailer for it, I saw that he had a brother that he never had heard of before, and I thought it looked ridiculous, but it seemed like it was going to be a lot of fun. So overall, the movie, it's fun, it's really silly. There's a lot of things that they don't explain very well, but I kind of just went with it. And again, I think if you like these movies, you'll like it just fine. I've been noticing that the audience scores are much higher than the critic scores. And when I listen to a lot of the critics, their biggest complaint about the movie is that there are a lot of parts of the movie that seemed like it was a cartoon. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was like a cartoon, but it's been that way for 20 years. Like, there's a part where Vin Diesel is fighting like 20 guys, and he grabs the chain off the wall, and he rips the chain off the wall, and like the 20 guys fall in a pit of water, and someone just said it just took him out of the movie. And I'm just like, you weren't taken out of the movie where he was driving a car, and he slams onto the brakes, and he jumps out off the car, and he flies to the air, and he catches Michelle Rodriguez's character in midair and lands on another car? Or the time where he got shot, and he was more hurt that Letty shot him than any hurt that he got from the bullet? I mean, they're ridiculous. I mean, that's not a really good review for these films. Like, you go in, you should know that. It's like watching a Star Wars movie saying the movie was good till they went to space. And actually, yes, in this movie they actually go to space, which is pretty damn ridiculous, but they do, and it happened, and we're just gonna have to learn to accept it. So my quick review of Fast 9, which I didn't think really deserved the whole video, was that it was just like the other movies, had a lot of silly, ridiculous action sequences, but overall, I had fun with the movie. And of course, we know that they're going to be making more. And I already pre-ordered my Steelbook, and thankfully it matches with all the other Steelbooks. If I had the ability to show the art here, I would, but I think they're doing a great color scheme for that one. But that one will of course be a 4K Steelbook and have the 4K disc inside. Hopefully they'll do inside artwork, but you know, we're crossing our fingers on that. So that's my quick review of Fast 9, and that's my presentation of the Steelbooks. Hope you enjoyed the videos. If you can please like, comment, and subscribe, that's greatly appreciated. So thanks for showing up, and you all have a fantastic day. Bye.